Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you doing today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope everything is good for you. Today was crazy busy here. The governor gave us the day off. Gave all West Virginia schools and all West Virginia state employees the day off to in like observance or in remembrance or whatever of President Bush. So we took the day off, and I didn't think I was going to get that day because, like, technically I'm a state employee, but we technically work for higher education, and higher education doesn't take those days off. So I didn't think we were going to get the day off, but we ended up getting the day off. And so I had planned on taking next week off to lay flooring. Well, not next week, a couple of days next week to lay flooring. But Keeley has a Christmas program on Friday, so I was going to end up taking some of, if not all, Friday off anyway to go to that. So I just figured since I had today off, I'll just take the next 2 days off and I'll do it. And so my friend said, well, if we're going to paint, which we intended on painting anyway, we should do that first, since we don't have to worry about spills. Like, we can just do whatever. I said, that's a good idea. So today I slept in, and I just got up and went at it. I tore all the trim out. I had already taken up a lot of the trim because I'm going to show it to you here shortly, a little bit of that. But all the trim work in my house, including the door casings, are all LDF trim, like light density trim, and the dogs had chewed up, scratched up, and peed on a lot of it. And when especially the pee causes it to swell and flake and fall apart. So anytime you try to vacuum, you hit this stuff and it just kind of falls apart, and it makes a bigger mess than when you started. So I had pulled up a lot of the trim already. The main rest of the trim that I needed to pull up was in a couple of areas where they hadn't really done that, and around the doors. And I had planned, I'm going to put down pine trim for all of it anyway. So I figured I might as well just pull it all off, regardless of whether it's, instead of replacing the pieces that were bad, because that stuff's expensive, number one. You buy like an 8-foot or a 10-foot section of that stuff, it's like $11, and I could buy 3 or 4 even 1x4s for that price, which is what I plan on trimming with. I'm going to trim everything with 1x4s and then 1x6s around the door casings. I think that'll be really attractive. So truthfully, it was like, I'm not going to replace this stuff anyway, so I just ripped it all out. And it was really bizarre. I found a couple of really interesting spots. I'm going to put this up on the screen. I have a bunch of interior doors, and this first door I'm showing here, you can see that the door was properly installed. It's shimmed and screwed through the shims, or nailed through the shims into the actual door frame, so the casing is held in place. But my bedroom door has given me issues a few times in the past. Whether it, I always assumed it was winter, but if you look, you can see there is absolutely no shimming between the door and the door frame. So the only thing holding this door together, the only thing holding this door in place is the trim. It was 18 gauge brad nails through the trim into the door casing, I guess. And then probably just some finish nails, essentially, holding the trim to the studs. So that was all that's holding this door together, which blew my mind. So while I was in there, I went ahead and cut some shims and shimmed it and screwed it in place, so it's actually a solid door now. That was the only door like that. I have a bathroom door and a pantry door also in this area, and they were all put together properly. Oh, and the basement door were all put together properly and secured properly. So only the bedroom door was like that. It kind of blew my mind. Like, why would you do that? Regardless, I tore it all out. The house, when we bought it, was primered. The walls were like a almond or like a off-white primer. And we never painted, and because of that, like, the primer was just disgusting, like handprints and grease marks and dirt, and it's basically impossible to clean because you end up just rubbing the primer off trying to clean it. So today, tore all the trim down and we primed it. We used 1.5 gallons of primer to do the hallway. There's an L-shaped hallway and one wall in the dining room, the main wall of the dining room. Got all primered today, and then the plan is tomorrow to go back and start with semi-gloss over top of the primer. I've never used primer like that before because I've always bought paint with primer, but when I did my bedroom wall, there was definitely spots where you could see there had been like greasy handprints or dirty handprints that didn't take the paint very well. So I thought the primer would help, and it seemed to give really good coverage. So hopefully that means tomorrow we're going to put down a coat of semi-gloss, and I think it'll take very well and look really nice. So that's the plan. Semi-gloss tomorrow. Let that dry and start tearing the carpet out tomorrow. Probably what I'll do is tear the carpet up, take all the tack strips out, take the padding out, and then I'll put some carpet down just to walk on while we do the flooring over, tomorrow and the next day. I'm going to try and lay the flooring. And then I'll have to trim everything back out sometime. Hopefully sooner rather than later, but I'll have to get the trim, which costs a lot of money, and then paint it before I get up there and put it in. So it's a lot of work. I'm tired. We worked all day on that, and it was a good day of good hard work. So it is what it is. But I had to buy a new tool. We'll talk about that tomorrow. I plan on just showing it to you and maybe doing like a little bit of a review. While I was out today, I stopped at the Dollar Tree and found a $1 pack of sandpaper. There's like, 5 of each grit in here, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 different grits, I think. And it was $1. And this is really, really bad sandpaper, which is perfect. Like, it's not wet, dry paper. It says it's waterproof. Bullcrap. This is like some of the crappiest sandpaper I've ever seen. But for the price, there's 80 grit in here, 100, 150, and then 240. For the price, I always need little squares of sandpaper to grab and just touch something up. And I'm usually ripping down some full sheets to do that. For $1, this stack of sandpaper will go a long way. And I bought 2 of these actually, so that was pretty cool. I bought a new tool. Paint supplies, that sort of stuff. So it's been busy, and it's going to remain busy. Here, I'll show you a little bit of that LDF of what it looks like when the dogs pee on it. That's disgusting. And you can see a little bit of the flooring here and how bad I told you it was. Once I start really tearing into that, I'm sure I will show you more and show you how the flooring goes down. So big projects ahead. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here as always. Thank you for being amazing friends. I appreciate you very much, and I can't wait to see you again. Hopefully you'll come back tomorrow.
Hey, Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from beebiology.ucdavis.edu. Do bees hear? Honeybees do not have sensory organs that can pick up sounds that we can hear. They are very sensitive to vibrations. They will feel us walking towards a nesting site before we get there.